Okay, so a couple bad rolls, but for the most part, you guys averaged okay. Thankfully, the chaos and the way you're addressed, you managed to push through and mingle well. It wasn't too hard. You make your way through the town. You can see the tower still being held in place, and the two figures that you saw gliding before. As this is happening and you're rushing through, you see a few other bolts hit a large bolt of lightning, grind down in the distance before eventually they both begin to like peer over and are now looking up and down the streets. As you make your way back towards the alley, over by where the gala is, you see a shadowed figure dart out from behind and a bolt of lightning strike. There's a detonation of burnt ozone as the figure falls to the ground smoking.
I go over to the figure.
As you walk over to the figure, you see one of the flying entities like kind of floating down. You can see now this robed mage figure with a staff in hand, wearing a large, what looks like ornamental mantle. Like long, kind of grayish hair is now just gliding down in the direction of the dark figure on the ground.
Male or female?
Male.
Robed figure,
Steer
big
clear
staff.
of
We all
lightning
see it.
people.
Write that down. You remember?
Yeah.
You guys see this as you come around. The figure.
Age.
The age roughly from this distance. You can see it's later, more older age, 70s human, if human, but you can't quite make the details. They start shouting, "One has fallen. Find the other!" And kind of coasts back off and begins doing a pass, looking through the various streets.
Yeah, tensions eased in the city a bit since, you know, the incident.
The incident.
Well, in the tower with the. Yeah.
Oh, right. Well, we've taken care of that for the time being. Repairs have been made. The tower's back where it was. The individuals you might want to talk to about that are over there in the corner, and you see over kind of, they were faced away from you when you first entered, but looking out from like the far window that leads to the outside, you see two figures faced away, looking outward, holding glasses of wine. It looks to be the two figures that you saw when you first entered the ring. Ormit Haas, the headmaster of the Zauberspire, or the Halls of Erudition.
And then the dude in the white robes?
The dude in the white robes.
Oh shit.
And those were just pointed out to all of us.
Yes, they're just like facing away from you guys out the bar. So if you want to inquire the specifics, they'd be the ones to talk to.
Hugs.
Wait, so who's going where?
Me and Yasha are gonna go talk to the wizards.
Bo and Yash are going over
You're
there?
not going to go to...
Yeah.
No,
It's too obvious.
these two.
Oh, jeez.
Not the most.
I'm going to
The most
constantly
inconspicuous.
stay within a few feet of the Starosta, but not in like a weird way. I just want to like overhear his conversations and see if he's talking about war and stuff.
It's gonna be
Okay.
a weird
And
way.
I'd like to flank to the left and keep an eye on the crowd to see who, if anybody pays attention to two strangers approaching. Those
Okay.
two.
It seems that the cluster of merchants that you had originally mentioned are keeping pretty close, at least closer to the Starosta. It looks like they're probably in the business of discussing future transactions and business. You gather probably more on the Starosta, maybe making connections in preparation for what's about to transpire.
Is it really crowded in here? Are there a lot of people?
There's about 20 or so people in the chamber, and the chamber is maybe about 40 feet by 40 feet, so it's fairly packed.
I'm going to send Frumkin dancing around people's feet to get within 10 or 15 feet of these, to follow Yasha and Bo.
Okay.
And take a seat on a chair on the side of the room, close to the door as possible.
Yeah, you find a chair. Everyone seems to be standing and conversing, so.
It's okay. Ford's been teaching me how to talk to people.
Oh,
Fuck
good.
it.
I'm glad.
That'd be great.
Do you want to take the lead?
Sure. I walk up to Ornid house.
Ormid, all right. They're both faced away, and they're looking out kind of into there's a window that's open that leads out into the main victory pit, and then there's the sky, which is mostly clouds. Just occasionally you see a break with some stars, and they're kind of just in the middle of a conversation, but it's hushed.
I kind of grab Yasha behind, like, on the small of her back. I kind of walk her up to the window, and I'm like, yeah, and there's actually a really great view.
They both immediately stop and like turn over,
If you
look at you.
So I can't even imagine the beauty.
Right? Isn't it? I mean, it's just such a great view. Over there is the Cobalt Soul.
Then can we help you?
Cobalt
And you glance over and you can see Ormid Haas at first glance, squat, maybe like 5'3", but a wide body. It's like Wolverine proportions. Very, very like dark, ruddy brown skin, with eyes that are black like obsidian, that kind of almost sparkle when you look at them. The hair is very short and curled, and there's this kind of very, very strongly inset dimple wrinkle when he smiles, with these kind of teeth are almost a dull gray in color. There's something not quite human about him, but also very welcoming. As he turns towards you, there's almost like a bit of dust kind of just is loosened from the edges of his ears, kind of just almost like it's a strange phenomenon. But these long kind of reddish gold robes, his arms are kind of folded in the sleeves where you can't see them.
I apologize. We're taking time away from the window.
And the other gentleman turns towards you. You can see now very close. And older gentleman, probably like 70s or so, skin slightly kind of jaundiced or yellowed in color versus the usual pigmentation here. He seems to bald on top, but like kind of longer gray-white hair that goes past the shoulders, the same white and gold robes. He smiles, but he looks like he's not enjoying the pleasantries of the space, but then puts on a face immediately as soon as he notices your arrival and just gives a nod.
I recognize both of you. You were part of this this fight earlier, the Mighty Nine, correct?
We were. You're. I recognize you too. I feel like we've met before. Maybe at a gala previously.
It's possible. I do not recall. But if so, it is good to see you again. I'm sorry. Bo, I am Ormid Haas. I am the headmaster of the Halls of Erudition. This is my compatriot, Master Trent Ikithon. Trent Ikithon.
Trent Ikithon.
Sure it is.
And he turns and goes,
It is a pleasure to meet you. I saw what you did today as well, and it was a very majestic display of skills. Quite.
Thank you very much. Majestic is my middle name. We saw the other day you guys fighting off those invaders. That was very impressive. Thank you so much for your service to the city.
Ormid goes to raise his hand and Trent goes,
Oh, so you were present during the attack outside of the Zauberspire, yeah?
Well, I mean, it was pretty public.
It's true.
Doors are tall.
It was an unfortunate incident that, thankfully, we were present, both of us, to take care of it before it grew too dangerous.
What were you fighting?
That seemed to be assassins sent by the Kryn dynasty. Terrible crooks that had attempted to steal something that should not fall into their hands.
The Kryn dynasty, they are from Northern Shorehas.
That is correct.
he kind of gives you a look over, like he's inspecting you with a very, very rapid and very detailed intake of your features. And he goes, "Where are you from, if I might ask?"
Abort.
I am from
Where did you grow up?
Rojas.
And how long have you lived here on the Empire?
Not very long. About, let's see. Maybe 8 months or something.
Oh, that doesn't look good. That does not look good. No.
But
Fascinating.
She traveled and has helped.
Trent isn't even looking at you. He's just completely focused on
but
Yasha.
I travel. I left. I chose not to live there anymore. So.
Why did you leave?
I just, it's not a great place to live. It's awful. It's marsh and it's not a comfortable place to live.
Make a wisdom saving throw for me real fast.
What's he doing? What's he doing?
Wow, that was cocked.
Supercut.
That's
Supercut.
7.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Negative.
As you're talking, it's weird. Like he's staring at you, but for a moment you feel almost like there's an illusion over his mouth and his fingers. They're still not moving, but it's almost like your eyes catch something shifting unseen beneath him, almost like you've layered 2 images over each other for a brief second, and then they're gone. And he goes, "Huh.
Well, very happy to have you fighting on our side.
Yes, I most definitely am. I can assure you I don't, stand for anything bad from the Jorhas, and I am here to help.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
And maintain that, please.
Okay.
You and your friends seem to be very helpful, and a lot of help may be needed. And should you ever stray from that path, it has been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Yasha.
Yes, that's me.
And he reaches out and shakes your hand once more. I would like very much to talk to you sometime in the future. You're intriguing.
We usually have her through me because I'm her booker. So that's actually a conversation that, me and you and the rest of Mighty Nine can have.
You're Cobalt Soul, aren't you? And Orma goes, please, stop this interrogation. I apologize. My friend is very
No, I am
studious.
Cobalt Soul. Yeah.
Well,
Super proud of the work we're doing over there.
you've done much great work and have aided us on many occasions.
And everyone at the Cobalt Soul feels the same about you all at the halls of erudition.
Ormid Haas is actually left. He goes,
Look, I
Snort's a good touch.
I know that there have been tensions in the past, but complete honesty, like, I really appreciate what you do over there.
Thank you.
Anyway, we must be off. The evening has grown late. Isn't that correct? And Trent goes, yes, that is correct. It's been a pleasure. And I look forward to our paths crossing again.
Great. Same here, because this was great conversation. I really.
Question, Ormid. The Cobalt Soul's been talking about moving to the front line. Do you have any idea if we're gonna get the same support from the Hall of Erudition? You know, just because I know you're a fan of our work, and we're just such a mutual fan of
To
yours.
the front line of what? We train a good number of war mages, yes. And some of our finest will be present at Blade Garden and beyond. Should things escalate any further, I'm sure a number of our circle will also join where is necessary.
Beautiful.
You have my word and the word of the Assembly.
Cobalt Soul's got your back too.
But to be clear, do you know what you're fighting?
they both kind of have a knowing look at each other and look back to you, and Trent presses forward. We have been studying for quite some time, as is the nature of protecting our people here, yes, but there are still many mysteries beyond the boundaries. Why, is there something you know that we don't?
If you're fighting, I just wanted to know if you are fighting the Kreen.
Very much so. They've killed many of our people. The skies to the east darken, and we'd want to keep that darkness from spreading. We wish the sun to continue to rise on this empire, and currently it is not over the Ashkeeper Peaks.
I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you. If you're ever near Rexentrim, find me. I would like to continue this conversation.
Okay.
Ormidha speaks up and goes,
All right. Well, anyway, a wonderful night to you all. Rest well. Congratulations. And well fought.
DM, can I ask, is his name Trick-a-Tick-a-Ting-Tong? What was his name?
Trent Ikithon.
Ikithon.
Yeah, Ikithon.
Oh, I spelled it right!
Thank you.
You're
I
welcome.
ran a half Ikithon once.
Wait, where did he say we could
Did you
use
just
that?
cast your spell?
Rexington?
Rexentrim, yeah.
Which is where the Soltrus is.
This also so crowd me.
So they exit, and you watch as Ormid, halfway through the room, as he has like his arms folded, goes, "Oh my goodness, look at you!" and gets down and starts going towards Frumpkin. And he's like,
This is how did you get in here?
Oh my
begins just reaching for
Haas or Ikithon?
No, Ormid Haas.
Ormid Haas.
Immediately just goes down and is like on goes from like this completely well established presentary kind of persona to this like childlike wonder of this cat. It's like, come here, please. I'd like to touch on you.
I'm taking all this in first person.
Yep.
Yes, yep. Let's remember this for later.
My whiskers.
That's all I can take. I get out of it.
Okay, you pull out of it and you watch as Ormid Ormid actually picks up Frumpkin and kind of like holds him in his hand and starts just petting him like, oh, cool. And they both continue to walk towards the exit.
I lean forward and look at the ground.
Okay. As they exit the chamber, Ormid outside goes ahead and sets Frumpkin down and kind of pets his head for a moment and goes, go on. Don't get stuck inside.
Oh my goodness.
And they both leave and exit into the night.
Okay, so Liam asking a question, and this is your choice. This is an idea that popped in my head. Could I request that everybody but Sam and Marisha leave the table?
You can, yeah.
Whoa!
Did everybody else but Sam and Marisha leave?
Bitch. Bitch. I didn't want to listen anyway, bitch.
That means you too, Matt.
Well then.
Yeah, I watched my father sacrifice a lot to get where he was, and I'm not sure if it was fucking worth it. So the Empire doesn't lean favorably in my spectrum, but I also don't care if they really live or die or whatever.
Well, I really want to go to the library tomorrow.
Yeah,
And this may be a very stupid decision of mine.
yeah.
What does she want from you?
Would you be willing to leave with me tomorrow if I asked you to?
Of course.
Just the two of us.
Absolutely. Right away. Whatever you want. But why?
Is the secret that valuable?
I am going to tell you the story of how I murdered my mother and father.
Oh.
When I was younger, I grew up in a small township outside of Rexcentrum called Blumenthal. My mother's name was Una. My father's name was Leofric. Everyone was very excited about me when I was young. I was bright and confident. People used to say that I glided through life and everything just worked for me. And as I got older, it became clear that I had a knack for the arcane. And everyone talked about the Solstice Academy. Maybe I would go there someday. It's the way they do things at that academy. They don't take all comers. They look for the diamond in the rough, and you know, every couple of years they find one. But when I was a young man, adolescent really, they found 3 of us. Another boy and a girl, and
From your town?
yeah, from Blumenthal. And we were accepted.
How old were you?
I was young.
What's young? Teenager?
Yeah. Anyway, we went there. I studied for a year. I worked so hard. It came easier to me than the other two, but they were also very accomplished. There were other students from other parts of the Empire there. And a little over a year of learning all they had to impart, I met a man named Trent Ikithon. He became our teacher.
Why didn't you say anything earlier?
Earlier when? Earlier tonight? A week ago? What do you mean?
When we were talking to Trent. You know we were talking to Trent.
So, after a year of studying in the main school, Trent handpicked all three of us again. And we left the school proper and went with him to a home out in the countryside where he trained us. And it was a good time. We believed in the Empire. We were going to keep it strong. He was cruel. He hurt us a lot. Made us go through extreme circumstances. But we got strong. I also fell in love, but that's another story.
One of the other students.
Yeah. So we rose through the ranks, and it was the Empire over all, and eventually he wanted to test our allegiance, and so strangers were brought in, traitors. Disgusting people, traitors to this empire, and we killed them.
Just students?
Mm-hmm.
He made you executioners.
We wanted to be.
Caleb, that's deeply fucked up. You know that, right?
Yeah. So, a few months of this, of studying, of a little bit of torture, a little bit of murdering dissidents and traitors and deviants.
And then one day your parents were brought in as traitors. No?
We were ready to graduate. And the last test of our allegiance was... I'm getting ahead of myself. You know, I went home. I went on a trip home and visited my parents. And when I was there in the middle of the night, I awoke and overheard them talking and went to the stair and listened to them talk about revolution and tearing the empire down. And I felt disgraced and shame for my family. My mother and my father, who were so wonderful to me when I was a child, and were so happy for me to go to the academy and believed in the empire so much. And I went back to the school, and when the three of us were summoned and told what was expected of us, I knew what had to be done. And we went to this other boy's home first, Eodwulf, and we stood by as he killed his parents, and we went to Astrid's house and had dinner with them, and she poisoned them. And then we went to my home and we grabbed a horse cart and in the middle of the night placed it against the door to the home, and I set it on fire.
And you had to do this to graduate. to prove your loyalty?
Well, yeah, but it didn't exactly go according to that plan because as soon as I heard my mother and father screaming inside, I was so sure, until I wasn't, and I broke a bit.
Did you go in after them?
No, I went to an asylum for a number of years. I broke. And I don't remember so well what happened to me there. It was quite a number of years. And years later, a woman was there. And she, another patient, and she put hands on me. And she took the clouds away. She took it all away. And not just my madness, but the fake memories that Ikithon put in my head of my parents.
Fake memories?
Wanting to, but yes. Yes.
Wait, that was a false memory? He tricked you?
Into hearing their talks against the Empire. Is
Yes.
that what it was?
Yes. Yes, but it doesn't matter because I still wanted to do it when I did it.
But you didn't know what you were doing.
So what?
You were brainwashed.
So what?
Programmed.
Doesn't matter. I should have. I'm a disgusting person. It doesn't matter. Anyway, all that gone, just like that. And I ran. Not right away. I pretended like nothing had changed for several weeks. She was stark raving mad 15 minutes later, herself, the woman who helped me. And I killed one of Trent's people there and took this, and I pull out the necklace. And this has been keeping me hidden for years. For 5 years.
What do you mean hidden?
They can find who they want. But not with this. They cannot find me.
You can hear the muffled sounds of conversation coming from above. You begin to reach the apex of the climb and tip over the top to arrive at the gathering of 8 figures, all of which are standing but one. Sitting atop the large-backed throne itself, you see a man in his late 60s. His past shoulder length, kind of wavy, dark gray hair bunched over his brown and gold noble attire. A long, thin beard that just kind of crests down from his chin is tied from beneath, and a crown of gold upon his brow to the same symbol as the one you see on the bottom of the crest. From artworks and depictions you've seen, you now know this to be King Berchwin Dwendal. Standing to the king's right is an older male gnome of darker skin, white receding hair, and robes of matching colors to the king's attire. You two make history checks for me.
Not this one, not that one.
My hands are drenched. History?
Yes.
18.
19.
Great. Both of you recognize this figure to likely be Oliver Schreiber, who is the retainer to the crown, the direct associate and assistant to the king.
Oliver who?
Schreiber.
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 Like the assistant to the crown, like hand to the king type
Kind of,
thing?
yeah, the retainer. To the left of the king, you see a man of similar age to the king, though he stands tall and thin, from within his immaculately tailored garments of silver silks, jeweled epaulets, and billowing sleeves. His pale skin and very tightly trimmed hair on top of a clean-shaven, if intense in judging, long face. You both know this likely to be Prime Arbiter Sidnock Truscan.
Sidnock Truscan.
He is the leader of the noble Truscan family, which oversee much of the Truscan Vale, which is the far west area where Diastok and Kamorda currently are. Within the current council that surrounds this platform, you see an agender half-elf of middle age wrapped in the most elaborate robes of the Cobalt Soul you've had yet to encounter. Their short red hair tangles like a flame while their expression masks their true mood with a neutral smile. Bo, you recognize them immediately by reputation, not by visual recognition, as the High Curator Udala Fawn, Herald of the Rexentrim Archive.
Udala Fawn?
Udala Fawn. The rest of the group that you're greeting here are familiar to you all. Arcanist Allura Vysoren looks at you with a nod. Headmaster Ormid Haas halts his conversation with Martinet Ludinus Daleth as they both look your way upon your approach. Ludinus looking in your direction.
How are their expressions when they look upon us, especially Allura? Is it inviting, worrisome? What do we see on her face?
She nodded warmly.
She nodded, like, kind of acknowledging your arrival. There is a figure that, one of the 8 figures is a very, very well-armored guard. You do not see the face, and they stay to the side and the back of the throne of the king. It looks like a personal protector, a guard who is just at all times full plate armor, a tall figure, and with no expression, you just see the helmet itself in dark shadow where the eyes would be, and it's just at any given point in time ready to protect the king.
Is Udala Fawn Zadash or Rexentrim?
Rexentrim.
That's what I thought.
The last figure, to your immediate right, is the old, jaundiced face of Master Trent Ikithon.
Losing us?
What else have you learned in your time with the Bright Queen? He looks genuinely interested now.
She really wants her fucking beacon back.
The relic.
You know where it is?
Ludinus steps forward and goes, My liege, times of war make for unique circumstances. If they have indeed endeared themselves to the dynasty, perhaps we could use them to shift things in our favor. Perhaps to bring an end to this conflict. The king is still looking at you and goes,
And how do you propose we do this, Ludinus?
This relic they mention, Trent seems to have recently uncovered the relic that the dynasty has accused us of having stolen. The challenges we've had in finding a ground to bargain may be turning in our favor, my liege. Using these 9, 7...
Will and sprinkle.
7.5.
Kill me.
Using these operatives perhaps as a mediation tool, maybe we can bring this conflict to a close. Allura and the others kind of look about each other curiously. Trent nods with a smile, his eyes falling onto Caleb briefly.
Ooh.
Oh no.
King Gwendolyn goes, And the Assembly feels this course is viable. Trent steps forward.
We do, my liege. An optimistic view.
I'm certain you could work out the details with the individual of which you are charged. Martinet, Arcanist.
I got 9.
I'll take my leave.
He's Martinet.
Good luck. And then Allura heads down the stairs.
You called him by his first name instead of by his title. It was pretty cool.
Yeah. Super familiar.
What's Ikithon been doing all this time?
It's actually about 10 feet behind Yeah, behind Ludinus.
T-money.
And Trent is in the process of like kind of gathering robes over one shoulder and about to turn in your direction.
No.
Ludinus goes,
Very well. Reach out to your contacts to aid in arranging such a meeting. We shall convene come the noonday sun tomorrow. I'll arrange for lodging within the Kamaruth cottage here within the Shimmerwood. I will greet you there in the morrow.
It's gonna be at least tomorrow morning before I can contact anybody because I'm pretty spent. Just letting you know.
You look it, but apparently you've been quite busy today, so take your rest. This is a high-end establishment. We'll convene and figure out what you plan in the morning.
Thank you. Will we be escorted to this place, or are we on our own?
There'll be an escort. And looks over towards the Marshal, and the Marshal goes, Of course, Martinet. Good. I'll see you then. He turns around and exits down the staircase. As you guys begin to follow, Trent kind of saunters up alongside your group.
Stand in front of Caleb.
Yeah, I stand on the other side.
Impressive business, isn't it?
You've come far from simple sellswords and pit fighters. Looking towards Yasha. Especially you, Brian. And then just continues walking, following after Ludinus. You see rise back up the Martinet. And behind you see the now twice familiar face of Master Trent Ikithon approach.
Well, I'm so glad you all were able to join us. I've been notified of your arrival, and we have prepared the demonstration. If you would please follow.
How old is this dude again?
He looks to be in his 60s or 70s, somewhere in that range.
Human.
He's thin, older, human. His skin is a bit jaundiced. Some visible liver spots across the forehead. Long, gray, thinning hair, and dressed in very, very nice robes with like what looks to be a almost like a velvet mantle over top of it that has trim put into it. It's a little ostentatious for him being on a business day, but he likes to dress up.
Sure. Okay.
You guys follow suit?
Yep.
Sure.
All right. You are led down beneath the ground floor into a spiral staircase that comes to a locked and closed door. Ludinus approaches and just raises his hand in with a loud knocking sound. The door opens. Immediately, the smell that catches you is familiar. It's like a strange, cold ozone-type smell. It reminds you of kind of the sensory awareness that would happen when you would reach your consciousness into the beacon. As you step into the chamber, this is a laboratory. This is specifically an arcane laboratory. You can see all manner of bookshelves around. There are numerous tables with glass vials and alchemical supplies that are affixed to each other with copper coils and long liquid carrying tubes that release into heavy vials and liquid containers. You can see materials that are locked away and kept under glass along a number of distant shelves in the far wall. There is a single chandelier in the center of the room from the 15-foot tall ceiling that dangles down and gives off just a bright white light that gives a fairly consistent, true color look to the interior of the chamber. In the center, you see a familiar-looking kind of platinum-colored tripod that sits loosely near, from underneath, not perfectly under, but near underneath where the chandelier hangs. And to two sides, you see two individuals that are currently kind of flanking it from side to side. One of them you see is a female halfling with kind of shorter cut hair, kind of a tense stare, arms crossed, wearing sleeveless leather armor with what looks to be these like intricate tattoos across each arm that have a very kind of maze-like geometric pattern to them. The other you see is a tall man, short black hair,
kind of built thick in a dark kind of piece of clothing that covers most of his upper body, leather gauntlets, looks to be a satchel over one shoulder, and is also equally kind of looking stern at you as you enter.
Is it him?
Make a perception check.
His friend. The one you described.
22.
22? It's been a while, but yeah.
It's the guy that you described.
Oh, that guy.
So as you all step inside, both of them kind of acknowledge your entrance and take a step back as Trent takes the center stage, if you will, of the chamber. So you have inquired as to this beacon, this relic, to confirm its existence. So as Ludinus has told me, you are welcome to approach and confirm for yourself.
May we touch it?
If you wish, yes.
Yep, I go up there.
Yeah, same.
I also, as we walk up, I just kind of want to start casing the place a little bit. Any research papers, any notebooks,
perception
any
check.
signs of anything nearby. Perception.
The beacon is on top of the tripod?
It's on the tripod,
I guess.
16.
16. You would imagine a chamber like this, especially as outfitted with so many materials for research, would have books and journals and notes everywhere. Completely absent of any of it, almost like it was recently cleared.
How many doors and entry and exits are there?
There's the room you entered, and there is a door on the opposite wall, but you do not know where it goes.
Mr. Ikithon.
Yes.
How long have you had this relic?
About a few weeks. We uncovered it, and we've been researching the extent of what it's capable of. With the rising conflict, we came to understand that this was one of the beacons that was so important to the dynasty. And if this was something that could be used as a weapon against us, it was necessary for us to ascertain information about how dangerous it would be, or if it could be used in our stead. Thankfully, that does not appear to be the case. It seems to be more important for them on a faith-based level, and as such does not serve much of a continued purpose for us. Hence the lack of interest in maintaining it under our banner.
Where did you uncover it?
What do you mean?
Well, where did you said you uncovered it, you found it?
From what we understand, the relics that the dynasty themselves have acquired are not the only beacons in this world. So this was uncovered as part of a archaeological dig outside of Pride's Call. But we are interested in returning it to those that have more use of it than we would.
That's very kind of you.
Okay, so this was uncovered there a few weeks ago?
That was, yes. You are welcome to go and confirm that with the archaeologists of Pride's Call as well.
Excellent.
I bet they totally would cooperate.
Insight check for every fucking thing.
Yeah, make an insight check.
I feel like we don't even need to insight check this. He's so full of shit.
It's okay. 23.
23, okay.
Did you roll
Can I
with advantage?
assist?
Yes,
Oh, I did not roll with advantage. Allow me
If you'd like to
roll with
assist, sure.
Oh,
24.
All right, 1 point.
Ooh, yeah.
So many whispers tonight, guys.
Fucking liar. Okay,
We're in
wait.
the belly of a beast right
there was
now.
news about Pride's Call back a long time ago.
it had to do with Oban.
Guys, this isn't combat,
That's right,
but
right.
Dwarven Forge exists.
They win.
Just so you know.
We're killing things on Pride's
At all times, they currently are a company
uncover things.
that exists at
Jump from your town
dwarvenforge.com.
To the Pride's Call.
Pride's Call.
Pride's Call, where's that?
Right here.
On the ocean,
No, it's
right?
there.
Oh, it's in the mountains.
Yeah.
That's over by where your family is, right?
It's on the other side of the mountain range, the Sirius Mountains from Morta.
Morta. Right.
So you have
It's a largely
found
dwarven
this-
society.
How weird do we want
Right.
So you have found this object not to be dangerous. I let my eyes rest on Aelwolf's for a moment. Is it of any use? Surely you've learned something.
It would be of use, yes. But what we've gleaned research-wise, what use it would have would not be as important as stemming the tide of blood that continues to flow because of this conflict.
Agreed.
Did you find the tripod with it, this thing that it's sitting on?
No, this was a means of keeping it safe and easy to research within our chamber.
Oh, really?
Safe and no, I'm curious how. Like, what is it? How does it work? Is it we know about the thingy. What's this tripod thingy like do?
Well, when it goes and reaches up. I think you've touched it, right?
Yeah, is that okay?
Yeah, you touch it. It very much resembles, feels like, and
I was going to try to let it zonk me in.
Okay. You go ahead and focus in.
It takes like a minute.
It does.
Yeah.
So you begin this process. Ikithon goes, well, you see, when you're taking something that is, you are uncertain necessarily of how caustic or how volatile it may be.
Okay, I know that one.
How bad it might possibly end up.
I'm with you.
So you made that?
Yes. And he turns and sees, he's going to reach for it, but then sees not, instead currently in the process, goes, you've seen this before then?
What? No, what?
Heard
I have
rumors.
not seen it before.
Well, I'm just finding it curious that you have come here to confirm that something exists, that you have not known it exists until you heard of it, not but the other day, and then arrive and immediately know exactly how to extend towards this device.
The magical act of touching. She's a curious girl.
I think you should know me better than to assume that I do not see intent where it's supposed to be, Bren. But I'm just curious. If you have encountered such a device before, your curiosity matches my own. And
how did you invent this tripod thingy? It's kind of cool.
We had it made. It's 3 rods of metal.
No, I mean, so you just had it made in the last couple of weeks.
Yes, we have that capability.
Is it one of a kind?
Tripods? No, they're used for many different devices.
Yeah, but that's like a very specific tripod for a very specific shape.
Okay.
I too am curious where you're
Are you offended by its shape? I could alter it for you if you'd like.
Whoa.
And he takes his hand and begins to manipulate with his fingers, and while you're concentrating on it, you watch as the tripod begins to kind of bow and twist a bit,
cool.
kind of almost forming into a triple helix type formation, and you actually are pulled away from connecting with it. You do not finish the process of...
But did it feel like it was going the right way?
It did.
Okay.
It did. And then it kind of warps back and says, you understand at a certain point of arcane capabilities, such creations are relatively paltry tricks.
Oh, of course. I also kind of recognize a certain artist's touch to these things, and it's just very unique what you made there.
Have you seen Zemetzler before?
Something reminiscent in Zadash, yeah.
Interesting.
You get to Zadash much?
Not
Trent?
terribly often. I am very busy up here.
Wasn't in Zadash. It wasn't in Zadash.
Or was it?
Felderwin.
So there was a dig going on already. I'm just getting clear.
There was a sinkhole that was discovered decades ago on the outskirts of Pride's Call that was found to lead to deep beneath the earth an arcanum ruin that has been a slow-going excavation that has been purposely and intently supervised by the Assembly since its discovery. And it was in this ruin such a beacon was discovered. We do not know if it was already part of the ruin or it was through some sort of the chance that the two had overlapped. But
have you figured out at all how it works?
It has some strange arcane properties that are unlike things that we've encountered in some of our research. But
have you ever seen an object like this before? Anything like this before?
No, this is beyond our purview. At least in my years on Exandria.
You are so very excited that you found it.
How would I not be? Is it not curious? Please, understand, I would love very much to continue to research such an artifact, but once again, it's about being the bigger man.
Tell us a little bit more. Knowledge is power, you know that.
It is.
These properties, what are they?
Make a deception check for me.
14.
His gaze seems to almost reach into you in a cold and intrusive way, reading between the words and the intent, and you see a smile creep across his face. I don't think it's anything you wouldn't already know. But I trust for all of those present, it seems to have some roots in familiar magics that twist with the nature of matter and gravity, entropy, time to a certain extent, probability, possibility. It is very intriguing, though the nature of this magic itself is challenging to harness.
Bless you.
Excuse me.
Well, I'm surprised to hear a man of your intellect and intrigue is ready to part with such a device that the dynasty seems to hold so much stock in. Curious, have you been able to take anything from it or imbue any objects with its sort of twisting of matter and reality?
Unfortunately, it has not been enough time. But should this go well, should this, your endeavor with the dynasty be successful, one would hope that this could be the beginning of a partnership, even. Perhaps if us and the dynasty can cross these gaps of mistrust and misinformation, instead we can learn so much from each other.
Are there books in this room?
There are many books in this room.
Oh. So you said everything was clear.
No, there are books on the walls. There are no notes, journals, or anything that looks like research, but there are bookshelves.
Do you have any of your research in this room right now that we could perhaps just take a quick look at, see where you've gotten with it?
No. And I respectfully was under the impression you were here to inspect this device. I've just met you. And our research is our own.
Of course. We've inspected the item. It seems to be, as you claim, which will help. We can say we've seen it with our own eyes.
Good.
This will be a dangerous, dangerous task. Perhaps if, I don't know, one of your more trusted were to accompany us. I don't know. Is there anyone you might want to have come with us?
What do you think, Caleb?
I have not been a part of this for a very long time. I wouldn't presume to know. Who would I trust now?
Well, I think based on what we know of your dealings in Jorhas, you would have a better chance of doing this without the presence of any of my trusted operatives.
But you're so charming. Wouldn't you want to come yourself and charm the pants off of everyone there?
I doubt the assembly would be as welcomed.
I would say if there's any other information you feel that we should know just so that all cards are on the table. Now would be the time to put forward anything that might be missing from this story, anything that when we're asked questions that we'll be able to fill in the answers for.
Certainly.
I think he's right, though. His previous poking about in the dynasty did not end well.
You misunderstand. I have not myself traveled to the dynasty.
No, you don't do that. You don't need to. You have help for that. Always help for that.
Not everyone is as helpful. Anyway.
Yes.
I believe everything is situated, Houdinus?
Very much so. Thank you, Master Ikithon. Once again, ensure that this is well protected. I'm sure there would be outside forces very interested in such research and such a device, and that would be a terrible house of cards to befall these tense negotiations.
Can I ask, is your dude that's across the room, your friend, is he wearing the same thing around his neck that you wore?
Make a perception check.
I mean, mine was always hidden under our clothes.
17.
17? You don't see anything.
Would love to have one of those.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Mighty Nine, are you sufficiently happy?
We are satisfied.
For the moment.
Good. Thank you, Master Trent.
Of course, and good luck.
So terribly sorry. Your two associates. I forgot to ask their names.
My apologies. I am usually much more cordial than this. You caught me in the middle of my work mode. This is Oelia, pointing to the halfling. Oelia? She is one of my more recent students, recently graduated. And this is Airwolf, who is a long-time associate and one of my favorited associates. I believe you two already know each other.
And Airwolf across the way is just...
What do his arms look like?
They're covered currently. There's like a black, like a cotton cloth shirt with leather gauntlets that are over it. The arms are covered. And pretty wide shoulders. Stuff like for an individual that came to the Cerberus Academy and what your usual standard expectation of a mage is. He's a bigger guy.
We're going to kill them all right now, right? We're going to kick this thing off right now?
Ownership.
Ludinus kind of steps into this tension and goes, well, I think we should find our way to the next endeavor. Let us be off.
Hey, Trent.
Yes.
Might want to talk to Caduceus about getting some tea that might help stimulate your memory, keep a little bit sharper, because we actually have met before.
I don't remember.
Oh. So now I know you were lying.
I do not believe it was a lie. I congratulated on your victory in the pit.
Yeah, you seem to just misplace that we had all met previously
I
a moment
met
ago.
a handful of you.
I put my hand on my blade, on the handle of my blade.
And you apparently have been following an intriguing path on your own as well. I knew there was something special about you. Anyway, we must continue preparations for the delivery should this go well. Have a good day.
Can you read minds?
Can I read minds?
Yeah.
Can you?
Can you?
You're a strange one. Are you reading my mind right now?
I'm trying to give you some thoughts. Tell me the first thing you think.
I think it's time we said goodbye.
He didn't want to say it that loud.
Goodness, is like, shall we?
Yes,
yes. Please.
Wolf.
It's good to see you again.
It's good to see you too. It's been some time. You look good.
Let's go.
You head back up the stairs. You hear the
whole body.
You hear the door behind you, and as you reach the landing above where the guards are, the Marnet turns and goes, "My apologies for the tension. I was afraid, given the history, things would be a bit emotional. Trent is a challenging individual. He has much utility and has been a long-standing, important member of the Assembly, but he is challenging."
Have you ever sat in on any of his lessons?
I've not sat in on them specifically. But he does what he deems necessary. Not all things necessary are easy.
Do you have an opinion on any of the conversation you just heard?
In regards to?
Feelings, thoughts, a candid emotion.
I think he's not being entirely forthright with his knowledge or information about this, but I think we have more pressing matters. To press this individual right now would be a rabbit hole that would distract from something that is far more reaching, if you will. I can always deal with Trent after the fact.
Let us know when you do that, because I would like to help. If you need to get rid of him in any way.
There are far more useful ways of dealing with useful individuals than just getting rid of them.
Are you a lot more powerful than him?
It's challenging to compare power in the Assembly. We all have our unique talents.
Are you being humble?
I'm being honest.
You watch as
the same thing.
A young student in the robes of the Cerberus Academy, kind of from a distance, you hear the footsteps approach as this kind of young 16, 17-year-old boy with mousy brown hair, cut short, approaches. Sorry to bother you. Are you Bren?
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and hands a letter, a wax-sealed letter to you. And then just heads off.
Cheers.
What's it from?
Check the back of your binder.
Did you slip something in there?
The back of your Bible?
There's a letter in there!
That's so cool.
Well, I can't hand you stuff across the table anymore because of the pandemic, so I had to get in there a while back and sneak it in there.
You don't touch it with your bare hand, do you? Oh, God!
There has been a murder. Everyone here is a suspect.
You are invited to my eldritch birthday party.
What does it say, Caleb?
You may already be a winner.
Bren, it has come to my attention that you are visiting the capital this day. I must say word of your patriotic deeds for the Empire give my old heart a warming glow. As I suspected, it seems some pupils can only thrive when you let them go to find their own path a while. I'm quite impressed by your accomplishments thus far and would greatly appreciate the presence of you and your companions as dinner guests at my manor tomorrow evening. Astrid and Ed Wolf will be joining us as well, so consider this a proper family reunion. I do hope you consider my invitation, Brian. I gather we both have much we would like to say. I think there is nothing I would love more than for you to send a message to Master Ikithon accepting his invitation.
You got it, Caleb. I'm gonna send a message.
Okay.
Dearest Trent, hey, got your message to Caleb. We will def be there. Can't wait to see what your house looks like. Any dress code?
Ooh.
Dang. I'm getting good at this, you guys.
Growth.
Rapid response comes. Well then, I look forward to seeing all of you. No particular dress code. Wear what is comfortable, please. That's all. Just open before you is the courtyard leading to the tower. As you walk through, it's a beautiful, if slightly ominous, patch of forest surrounding this tower. You can see faint fire bugs kind of glowing and fading in and out in the distance, but just far enough out of reach as you walk this paved path that leads through. Eventually you find yourself to the base of the tower where this massive set of arched double doors that wait for you open into a low-lit antechamber. As you walk into the tower chamber proper, you are met with a patterned carpet of dark brown and red that meets wall to wall. No furniture, just an open entry. You can see a beautiful crystal chandelier that hangs above you in the center of the partially domed ceiling. You can see intricately carved wooden panels wrap around the doorless walls aside from the entryway, housing large paintings set within elaborate frames. You can see one large landscape that shows an odd sunrise, it seems, over a desolate plain of rock and flame, a sky of burning clouds and haze. Anyone here is trained in Arcana, if you'd like to roll.
15.
15? That's enough to know this is most likely a portrait of the Plane of Fire. You do also see what looks to be a bloodied battlefield, a very elaborate, extensive, wide, 12-foot portrait that is almost curved in the way it's set against the curved interior of this chamber, where you see soldiers of two sides just clashing and tangling in this display of violence. If anyone here has history they're proficient with, they can go ahead and roll for that.
31.
Whoa! Damn.
Jeez Louise.
This is a depiction of the Marrow War, which was the battle, the Marrow War,
Dope.
where the Dwendalian Empire clashed with the Jewelist Dominion, defeated, and then took over the entirety of this area of Western Wanandir, this great valley here. Well done. And then you come across what looks to be a portrait of a young man in a forest green, gold-trimmed robe on display. You see his long, dark hair comes to a widow's peak to the front of his face, right over his gray-blue eyes. You take a moment to recognize, but this image does appear to be of a young Trent Ikithon. Not but a moment later do you make this beat of recognition, then you swear you see the man in the painting give you a subtle nod.
Can I use see invisibility for the next hour? Just because, fuck it, why not?
Sure. You put it on right as the doors close behind you. You're now enclosed in this chamber. There are no stairs. There's no other exit door.
Can I look towards like the bottoms or anything of the paintings? I want to see if they have any signatures on them of painters that I would recognize, some of them that I studied.
Make a perception check.
Guidance. Cool. 9.
They're very detailed. It's hard to pick out where a signature would be, if there is one, if it's hidden, if it's folded within the actual gold framing, or you're just not picking up on it, but nothing jumps out to you, unfortunately.
As I get back to the Trent painting, I'm gonna touch his face.
Okay. You can feel the texture of canvas beneath your finger. Not but a handful of moments since the front doors closed, and at this moment, the rest of you kind of feel this shift, and you look at the carpet in the center of the room, and there is a forceful glow from underneath in places. And you see this faint pattern of various glyphs that are gently muted by the presence of the carpet over whatever the source is, light up in a circular pattern around the interior of the chamber. You then watch as the paintings begin to drift downward.
Is this haunted room?
Yeah.
This is not stretching.
Damn.
That was already
my imagination.
But it begins to rise rapidly. You watch as a door goes. Another door goes. Floor after floor goes by. 4, 5 floors, you kind of lose count as they go. And then it quickly drifts to a stop to the point where you all find your feet lift off the ground for just a second, and you find yourself clambering just to make sure you don't tumble over when the floor comes to a stop.
So it felt like we were going down?
Felt like you're going upward.
So wouldn't we have
No.
stopped?
You go.
You have a little.
You go up. When you're going down, you go, huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Physics.
It's been a while since we've been in an elevator.
Been anywhere.
Yeah, it's true. It's very true.
That's right. You jump at the top.
Up and down.
Oh,
knows?
Yeah, okay, cool. Then I jump at the top.
Okay. You get a good like extra foot and a half of leap distance in the air.
five.
You can almost touch the bottom of the chandelier. The chandelier that does not shake or move with the momentum of the chamber.
Cool.
As it stops and lands, you look around you. You've seen no windows at all in your progression. But you do see
No windows.
and no door. There is actually a door. There's one.
And one door.
You see what looks to be almost like a birchwood door on the opposite side of the room from where the entranceway would have been at the bottom of the tower.
Do you think this happened because I touched his face? Do you think it took us to him? Like, what if I would have touched the, like, fire plane picture or something?
We would have gone somewhere else. We would have gone down.
Yeah.
Go down. Hell goes down. You go down to hell.
Wow. Glad I touched him then.
Yeah. Always touch him.
The birchwood door opens, and you can see a little bit of flickering light on the inside of the chamber beyond.
Any unseen servants, any spheres in the air, anything?
In this room, no. As you, if you
I start
approach,
to walk in.
Wait, Caleb.
I stop in the door.
Wait. Shouldn't we have had a code word or something?
Let's discuss it now. While we're in earshot.
How about, oh no, it's a trap.
Okay, that sounds good.
okay.
The code word is Yahtzee.
Pick a non-copy.
I don't know.
Pinochle
Solitaire.
or something, or
No.
Old maid.
It's the theater union. IATSE. Yahtzee.
Yahtzee.
That's still.
That's also problematic.
Damn it, Liam.
Teams.
Don't fuck with the teams.
Okay. You can hear very, very gentle, it's almost like violin and harpsichord music playing from inside the next room. As you begin to approach, you peek beyond the threshold, and you can see, giving off a very faint aura, what looks to be 6 different humanoid-ish figures that just kind of stand at the ready against 2 walls of what is a long hall-like room. As you step through the door, they all disappear, and you feel the enchantment that your weapon had given to you fade.
Ooh.
As you all step through, you can see now there are a number of smaller, more metallic iron chandeliers, about 4 of them, that align the ceiling of this long hall-like room, where you can see a long table sits before you with these kind of pale, tan, almost beige-colored tablecloths and settings and chairs for 7 guests. There are windows in this room, and they appear to be somewhat frosted, but you can see beyond them what looks to be like a beautiful forest. Dense in trees, a bit of moonlight coming through the branches. Doesn't quite match with the math of where you are with the center of the city. And beyond the end of this table, you can see there is a roaring fireplace on the opposite side of the room. And there, framed in the flickering flames, you can see 3 figures standing as they all kind of turn. You can see the figure familiar to you all first is the wide-shouldered, short, dark hair, kind of well-buttoned velvet tunic on what seems to be Airwolf, who had met you once at the Vergessen Sanatorium when you were inspecting the beacon a number of weeks back. On the right side, you can see a woman with kind of dirty blonde hair, short in the back, combed over to one side of the face, smiling in a very, very officious-looking suit, it seems, that comes into a long dress at the bottom. And then in the center you see not quite the same, but mirrored essence of that same green and gold robe that you saw in the portrait below. You see the older, jaundiced figure of Master Trent Ikithon, who smiles, puts his arms up. I'm so very happy that you have accepted my invitation. Please sit. I believe we have much to talk about.
Question, you said there were only place settings for 7 people?
For the 7 of you at the table.
As well as the
3 for them.
Do we have assigned seating?
There does not appear to be any sort of indication of assigned seating.
Are you going to take the head of the table?
Yeah.
Okay, Jester takes the opposite head of the table, of which Trent takes the furthest side.
The corners of the room where there were those 6 humanoid figures, nothing there, right?
Correct.
Empty.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll wait until Astrid sits and then sit in the chair adjacent.
So that would be at the opposite head of the table, Trent. To the left of Trent is Astrid, and then it would be you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sit across from you wherever you sit.
Definitely sit. Somebody should sit next to them so that Airwolf gets separated.
Oh, that's a good idea.
I'll use my speed to try to sit where Aedwulf would be seated.
He is moving for the chair to the right of Trent Ikithon.
Yeah, come on, roll for that shit.
Do it.
Yahtzee.
Roll dexterity.
Roll a dexterity check, because this is...
I don't even have my dice out.
It's like he's just pulling out the seat for a lady.
You have your dice out. We're going to die any second.
What is my checking?
Just roll a d20, add your dexterity modifier.
17.
17. You watch as he goes and pulls the chair out and is about to lean in and...
Is this seat taken?
Apparently it is.
And like shoves you into the table a little bit. Pulls the chair right next to you back. And then sits down.
I'll sit down.
In the chair that he pulls back. He goes, power move.
Thank you very much.
Of course. kind of gently pushes it in.
That's enough.
Looks back to you again. Goes to the third chair.
Caleb is watching like a mixture of mortification and hilarity, but like not smiling, just.
Aelwolf,
I
wouldn't
walked
you
to
like
the
to
chair.
sit down next to me?
I walk to the chair.
You walk to the.
I pull it out. For you.
Oh. Thank you. And he sits
Pull it
there.
out.
Just wanted to make a note. Run.
I sit across from Caduceus.
Yeah, so we have eyes on either side of the.
Good call.
Yeah.
As everyone takes their seat and finishes, Trent, who's kind of leaning back in this high-backed chair that comes up to these almost like hook-like hands that are currently reaching over the top of the back, puts his arms up and gives a clap. And you feel this wind kind of rush through the chamber, and the doors you came through close.
The meal will be arriving shortly. In the interim, I am happy to have you as guests in my home.
I can't hear you. Can you speak a little louder? I'm sorry, I'm just so far down here.
He then begins to introduce my companions, and as he speaks, his mouth does not move any longer. Instead, the language seems to be coming from all sides, directly into your mind.
Cool. That's cool.
Oh, no.
As he just stares intently across the table.
My companions for the night, of which you are familiar. Childhood friends of your companion, this Caleb Wittogast, or as we've known him, Bren. This is Astrid.
Points to her.
And this is Adolf.
And he gives a nod.
Now I must say I'm quite impressed how you all have come together and done so much in such a short time. What is, if I might inquire, the driving force behind your travels? What is your mutual goal?
Boy, that's a tricky one to start with. We are driven by many forces, but mostly justice. Right?
Yeah.
Right? Mostly justice.
I think mostly we are just trying to leave the world better than when we found it.
So we are not too different then.
Oh, you seek to change the world for the better?
Well, what is the purpose of power if not to use it properly?
Much for us to celebrate together at this time.
Indeed.
We've achieved peace after so much struggle.
So,
And there's this kind of pregnant pause at the table as he kind of begins to scan across each one of you.
I'm doing the same. Can I ask what kind of vibe I'm getting from Astrid and
Well, I was about to say, as soon as you're doing this, Astrid pipes up and goes,
indeed, it is a pleasure to meet all of these friends of Caleb. Just as it is good to see you as well, my friend. And I am happy to get the chance to know those who have kept him companions and safe in the time that we could not. Right, Edward?
Indeed, I've seen some of you at the sanatorium. Seems fate continues to draw us together. Perhaps the matron has plans for us together yet, huh?
Who's the matron?
Which is he referring to Matron of Ravens?
And you, what are you?
You see Adolf kind of gives like a weird, like a half grin.
Vegetarian, so I hope the meal reflects that.
Yeah.
Nice.
Smile fades. Well, I guess, before I get too deep into my particular interests for the night, what questions have you for me?
Well, I am curious now that we have reached some quiet between the two nations. Seeing as how central you are to the decision-making here in the Empire. What's the next step?
Well, I do apologize. You have not been around for the full scope of our political engine, but I do not make decisions. I merely guide, offer suggestions. As to what is next, well, there are many paths. Am I to know, it seems you have fallen in with a Vesterogna, yes?
We will be spending some time with her, that is correct.
And what errands, if I might inquire, has she procured your skills for?
You might not inquire.
Respectfully, I feel that information would be considered of private nature.
Of course, of course.
Does he feel like, does he already know? Does he already know he just wants to hear from us?
Make an insight check.
I was going to say, my insight check is just not stopping.
Yeah.
17.
22.
22? There isn't a lack of confidence in his inquiry, and he does not appear to be finished. As he goes, is she looking to perhaps drag you to Schattengrad as glorified tomb raiders, huh? No? Perhaps your familiarity with Shohassian society is to aid her in acquisitions there. Or is she hoping to bring you to someplace colder?
Well, that is a
Look.
conversation you should have with her.
I know, as far as I know, she just wants us to hang out for intimate reasons, you know? We're all very attractive.
Fair.
Make a deception check.
I feel like she should get advantage for the fact that we are very attractive. Sorry.
15.
Okay. Well, wherever it is that you all intend to travel, I hope you do so safely and without issue.
Without any tissue?
Yeah, we won't need any. We're not sick or anything.
A joke, yes.
The doors enter, and you watch as these platters begin to just hover in the faint breeze, held aloft on their own, filling up the table before you.
That's cool.
As Edwulf takes a scarf and kind of tucks it in to the top of his shirt, and Aster takes and puts it in her lap. Trent leans in.
No questions, then?
So many questions. How's the new crop? How are your children?
Oh, the children are doing well. Some more than others.
Not everyone has the stomach for it.
We lost a talented prospect not long ago.
How did you lose them?
They were captured in Rossona.
Blondie.
That's unfortunate.
Not Blondie.
No, in the
Girl
prison
in
in Jorah.
prison.
Yeah.
What's her butt?
Well, the Empire will always yield up more youth. I find hope in the quiet that was achieved at sea. Maybe I'm naive. I'm sure you think so. How wonderful it would be if the two sides could approach each other with that forthrightness, always. You said that you make no decisions, you only advise a thought experiment. Pretend that I am King Dwendal.
Very well.
In this moment, advise me.
As the king?
In your opinion, do we keep this momentum going or use it as a feint and dig in harder in all the traditional ways? What is your advice?
My advice, O great King Dwendal, is to use this momentum to rally the populace around the idea of your benevolence and your ability to keep them safe from outside aggression. But to keep a very close eye in all the shaded places. There are so many lives and only so much land.
How does he do that?
Yeah, really.
That was literally both answers at the same time. He just said yes twice. That was amazing. Wow.
I look diagonally down at Eadwulf. Like a little more perspective, Wolf. How are things going?
Well, at the moment it is not as busy, so I am enjoying a little more of a relaxed schedule for now. You look good.
Say again?
You look good.
Oh. Well, it's a wonder what travel will do, and sun on your back.
When the war was a bit hotter than it is now, were you very busy? Eadwulf?
Not any busier than you are, apparently.
Well, yes, but were you on the front lines?
I'm not a frontline sort of fighter. I have different skills. More of a scout, if you will.
Did you go into enemy lines and go on missions and things, exciting things?
Only exciting things.
Yeah? Like what?
Yeah, I'm curious, like Veth. I've missed a year or two. What have you both been filling your time with?
Looks over towards Astrid, and Astrid kind of narrows her eyes a bit and pulls her back, and he smiles.
We're doing what we do best, Bran.
ensure history walks the right path.
Have you been taking up hairstyling? Because Astrid's got a pretty cool one. Was it Eodwulf that did that for you?
Send this to Astrid. Astrid goes,
No, this is of my own design.
Oh, you did that yourself?
she takes and pours a little bit of wine.
Wow.
I do not like it.
No, I love it. I love it.
Would you like your hair like it as well?
That's
What?
okay. It's so original, I wouldn't want to steal your thunder.
You might have chosen the wrong profession.
No, it's my profession that allows me to do this. And you watch as she flicks her finger and the hair suddenly grows long and curls up into this like extremely like bouncing, healthy, like shoulder bob. And then it recoils upward into
Careful,
this.
you got some Bernays and a lock right there. You kind of got a little out of control with that.
World
It's
barber.
it got a little on your lapel.
I don't have it.
That's really cool. That's a really cool spell. That's a really cool spell.
Thank you.
Selecting a fine talent.
She looks back to Bren.
Do you ever teach people how to do those kind of spells? Because I would love to know how to do that spell.
Well, no. These are the things that are taught after years of training at the Soldiers Academy.
Is it so you can like change your looks?
Mm-hmm.
Because there's like easy disguise self spells, you know. Those are like easy.
Yeah.
But like,
Then you know all about this sort of magic then.
oh. Oh, I guess I could just change my hair on a whim, huh? But that looked like you were really changing your hair. Were you really changing your hair?
Glamours.
Caleb, I want to learn about glamours.
That's why her tits look so amazing.
We are such assholes.
Yeah, Caleb's working real hard to keep a blush down through all of this.
Astrid leans forward and goes,
So, Bren, we miss you. I'm glad to see that you're safe. And doing so well.
I have good friends. They're good people.
Are you trying to invite him back? Is that why we're here? Are you asking him back into the fold?
Oh, I'm not doing that, no. Trent kind of leans forward in his seat and goes,
I more just wanted to express my pleasure with Bren's, Caleb's advancement as the prodigy I always knew he was. While some students take direct tutelage and study, some are unique in how they best develop through self-discovery. Others inspired through hardship. Historically, the most talented mages have indeed walked this path. For the greatest ambitions come from those who have endured the dark and crawled their way back.
So you're apologizing then?
No, it sounds like he's trying to take fucking credit.
Yeah, it didn't sound like an apology to me.
Of my handful of vigilant reaches, I've had a fondness for you three.
and he gestures towards the three students.
Eorwulf and Astrid are skilled in so much. Everything one could seemingly want in disciples and associates. But, and I mean this with all due respect to the both of them, their potential is limited. Unlike you, Bren. You have the eventual makings of an assembly member yourself. And don't think my eyes are the only ones upon you for this reason. Some out of curiosity, others a threat. Forgive me, Bren. I could see your gifts, and your faults and limitations. To truly grow, you needed to be broken and left to build yourself. It took longer than we anticipated, but when you were ready, we turned on the light and showed you the door. And he kind of takes something from the side of his setting, and it drifts over across the table in your direction and lands at the front of your plate. You see a familiar symbol, that of the Archheart.
This is why I am not dead.
Of course. If we wanted you dead, there would have been no escape. And I cannot tell you how proud of you I am. We are. And I know you hate me, Bren. Hate what I've put you through. And I accept those feelings. For it was a hard choice for me to make. What I did, though, I did out of love.
To what end? To use me?
No, to show you what you are capable of. It was your parents' wish. And I told them of the spark that I saw within you. They asked me to do whatever it took to help you realize it. For the glory of your family and for the Empire. I did just that, as much as it hurt to hurt you. It is the greater man who puts the needs of others over himself, Bren. And this nation needs you.
Insight check.
We need you.
Insight check.
I got insight check.
Lying.
I flicks to Astrid's.
Natural fucking 20.
Ooh.
I'll text you real fast.
I would like to insight check Astrid.
Go for it.
See if she's going along with it. Well, not a natural 20, but 25.
25, okay. What's your total with the natural 20, Chester?
25.
Damn, just look at that, 2 25s.
Wow. Wow. We might actually learn something.
Okay, give me just a second.
Takes longer to text than it does.
This insight check brought to you by...
This text brought to you by Dwarven Forge. Makers of the world's finest modular gaming terrain.
Oh, the curses of COVID distance. I missed the whispers. It was so much easier.
2020 is hard, man.
I know.
Yeah. It's
Goddamn.
really hard to stay quiet during his speech.
Also, Matt, it would be easier and faster if you just did it with Siri, with just like...
You're right. And I will tell this to you out loud because this is less tricksy. With a 25, you can... She's looking towards you with a feeling of internal conflict that you weren't expecting. You can see there is a softness and kind of a yearning, but her body language is leaning away from him.
From Trent?
From Trent. And you see a glimmer in there of the Astrid you once knew. Ever so faintly worried.
Worried?
About your response.
Is Aodwolf just chowing down on his steak?
I mean, no, he's
Not care in the
mid-chew.
world.
He's like,
Okay.
he's intently watching, and it's just like,
You will have to walk me through the logic of this long con. Because I do loathe you deeply.
Of course.
But you do nothing flagrantly. Everything is very careful.
Indeed.
So how would you hope to use me as a tool?
This isn't to use you as a tool, Ren. And there isn't a word I could say that would find your ears with belief. Correct?
Say that one more time. Because of the social distance.
Yeah. There is no phrase or words I could say that you would find yourself able to believe.
It's hard to forget the past.
Then do not forget it. Use it. If I am to be the focus of your hatred, I accepted that long ago. But what you are now, what you've accomplished, those you've drawn around you, and where you go, that is because of what you've endured. Not because of a book you read in some hall with other sniveling rich children. You made yourself. Not myself. Not them. But it took that path of pain to accomplish what this is. And you're not the only one of us in the Assembly to have been through similar trauma and been defined by it.
I dead-eye stare Astrid while talking to Trent and say, and you think that my mother and father, our mothers and fathers and children, should serve as grist for the mill in this way?
Whatever it takes to keep the people of this empire safe. The wants of one do not outweigh the wants of the many. Right? Aodwolf leans forward and goes, our parents made a sacrifice, yes. Like any soldier does in the battlefield.
If we cannot protect our own, then all of it is a failure. Why did we get into this? Why did we serve with such vigor? If not to protect.
You see, when talent rises from nothing, then nothing truly is lost. You are far more than where you came from.
So you've sent me off like a wind-up clockwork toy to serve the Empire. Am I right? What if the thing to do now is to supplant you, to pull you up like a weed, and do better? You comfortable with that idea?
Nothing would make me prouder.
It's like,
I know, yeah. He means it, doesn't he? Fuck, I know he means it.
I'm not even asking.
Natural one.
Probably means it.
Got broccoli right
means
here.
it.
At this point, Jester kind of dribbles down her chin a little bit.
Oh, gosh, I'm so sorry. I'm just, this food looks really good.
Means it.
I really wish
He
Bo would
seems
think
pretty
about
honest from what you can tell.
Bo! Bo! Yeah, eat something already.
I don't have a fucking appetite. He's disgusting.
Let's take it further. I look at Eadwulf and then at Astrid. When he is out of the picture, and you and I carry the torch forward, we will mangle more children to feed the fields of Wynandir.
Eadwulf kind of sits back, crosses his arms, looks to Astrid. Astrid looks to you and says,
Well, if you were to be the bannerman of this tower that we are charged to, then we do as you say. If you want to bring more into this fold, we will. If you want it to end, that's your command.
What about you, though?
What about me?
When we spoke last, I had the impression that you were being groomed for this seat.
She looks nervously over towards Trent. And Trent leans in a little bit.
My ambitions and the paths laid before me are not always congruent. Bren.
And she looks deadly serious towards you, with a look of stop.
Trent kind of leans forward with this grin getting slowly more and more curled and confident. Any man of my position assumes that everyone I keep close is just waiting for me to turn my back. Every person in power knows that feeling lives by it. It's the rare one that gets to choose. I just hope you don't disappoint me, Bryn.
That is a lot to absorb. It has been an interesting decade, to be sure. I often feel like a failure and a success within the same hour.
And you are learning.
I have dreamed of murdering you with my bare hands many nights. So I hope it's not just flowery language you're throwing around the dinner table, Master Ikithon. This place, this country could do better. It could do it with a little less blood. Everyone at this table knows that struggle is inherent to life. But this way is not the only way. And that was given to Astrid.
She looks at Trent.
Then, take care of yourself. All of you. For the struggle never stops. And because you don't want bloodshed doesn't mean every other person that wants what you have doesn't. History and mortal nature prove this time and time again. If you are not sometimes the first to cut, you are the first to receive the blade. I've spent my life bearing knives. Let's hope you live as long, Caleb Wittogast.
Take a bite of my steak. Is it poison?
It's very well prepared.
Chester.
Does not appear to be poison.
It might be the best steak I've ever had in my life. It's so fucking good. It's melting in my mouth. Yeah. Just eat as much as you can real fast
Before he kicks us
get
out.
kicked out. Yeah.
I feel like I've been domineering the conversation.
What? No.
No.
Not at all.
It's been great. Does anyone else have any questions about me being groomed as the Antichrist?
How many more beacons do you have?
Hell yeah.
There you go.
What do you mean? You've only seen the one? That is what we have.
Insight check.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Natural 20.
Natural 20.
What?
Bringing you to a total of
40. That's 40.
well,
29 on my end.
30.
Woo!
Really?
59.
Well, not combined.
Yeah, they stack. They stack.
That's how it works.
Yeah, you combine them now.
How many there are, the addresses in which they're located.
His eyes dart to the left. It's due south.
Yeah.
Go.
Yeah.
Since you're both here,
It's right under the table.
Yes.
he's being completely honest.
He's always honest.
It's best liars are honest.
What's the most incredible thing you learned from studying them?
We don't know yet.
Yet?
Have you ever answered a question directly?
One question at a time.
I knew it. That's great.
It's like a party game, really.
We have learned some things, but there is still much more to glean. We have only just begun our research. So who's to say what the most important thing is? What I do know is there is much potential to help a lot of good people.
You mentioned being a Tomb Raider in Schadengrad. Is that a mission you've sent people on?
No, but it sounds like the sort of thing that Vess would definitely go for.
Interesting.
Her interests tend to lie in things in the realm of forgotten history.
Isn't that kind of like her title?
She's the Archmage of Antiquity.
Yeah, that's her thing, right? That's like what she's supposed to do.
Like in the...
Have you come across any interesting artifacts?
In my
that
life.
She's dug up me recently? Anything pre-calamity? Sound familiar? Anything related to the Eyes of Nine?
I have not, but if you've seen such a thing, please do tell me. Vess tends to be very secretive with her business.
Oh, this has nothing to do with her. This is kind of something we've all been like a side hobby, you know?
I do not believe I have. But
Have
I
a
am
side
curious.
hobby? You should have a side hobby.
Heard anything about this artifact or Eyes of Nine you speak of?
Yeah.
Trains
Worth a shot. Origami is very, you could
I did that.
probably, it's the mental health aspect of just having something that's not intrinsically related to your work, you should get a hobby.
He has a hobby. He's a sculptor.
In a way.
The trees outside your windows. What is that supposed to be?
I just wanted to provide a gentle atmosphere. Do you not like it? I can change it for you.
I would love that.
Ooh.
What did you prefer?
Coastal view.
Without him moving or even looking away, you watch as all the windows shift into a moonlit oceanside night. And you can see waves kind of just breaking against the sides of the ocean beaches.
Is it ocean on both sides, or is it ocean on one side?
It looks like it's ocean on one side, and then it curves around and you begin to see the coast on the other.
Cool.
Like you're right on a cliff.
That's neat.
Any other parlor tricks you would wish to ask of an Archmage of the Cerberus Assembly?
No parlor tricks, but I had actually a question, if you don't mind, Caleb, about your past. Thank you so much for sending him to us in your weird psycho way, but we do appreciate making his acquaintance, however dark and creepy it was, the origins were. But I think if my memory serves, he was sort of locked away for a while in a bad place. He would have stayed there forever, right? If someone hadn't freed him?
Most likely, yes.
Who freed him?
Well, who do you think freed him?
And he gestures over toward the symbol on the table that was given to Caleb earlier.
What?
What he's saying is that he orchestrated it.
So he imprisoned you and he freed
He
you.
left me shut off, and then he turned the lights back on.
Wow.
That's weird.
That's very kind of you.
Thank you.
Very generous.
Didn't need those 10 years. How is this going?
Adolf?
Yes.
So Adolf kind of like leans back, pulls back his sleeves, and you can see the clustered maze-like tattoos that are across his forearms. You can see similar scars as to the ones that Caleb had, with what looks to be raised areas of the skin where things are embedded beneath and have healed over. And he kind of goes, "It's coming quite handy, to be honest.
Does that hurt?
Only a little, the beginning. But it much more hurts the person on the other side." And he kind of like tenses his arms, and as he does, you see energy kind of spark through and arc up the arm.
You're like a living magical weapon.
I like that title. Living magical weapon.
His forearms are still as amazing as they always were.
Yeah, they're more so. More so. He's a fit fucker.
Yeah.
He gives a little drink and nods to you.
Look over at Astrid. What about you?
They have come in handy a number of times, yes. What do I require to give a presentation as well? She pulls her sleeves back and shows the same tattoos.
You've talked about Caleb replacing you. Forgive me, I'm so forgetful. What's wrong with you? Where are you going?
Well, nowhere. He fails.
Nowhere. You don't feel ill?
I take it from the tone of your inquiry that you don't seem to understand the structure of the Cerberus Assembly.
I don't. Although I did look up to it when I was younger. I was very curious. I'm sad to report I haven't learned much since then.
Membership is only given when a member is stepped down, kicked out, or passes away.
And do you plan to step down, get kicked out, or...
Hopefully not any. I like where I am. It has served me well for a very long time.
It's a very generous offer. I take it very seriously. Truly. What if I decide to walk away? What if I want to be a sailor instead?
That is your choice.
Easy as that.
Of course. But you won't.
No. No, I won't be a sailor. Well,
shame. You'd make a fine sailor.
He really does not.
The world would lose one.
Terrible at sailing.
This has been very informative, illuminating. I don't wish to overstay our welcome. We do have business to attend to, any preparations to make.
Well, regardless, it has been a pleasure to get to see all of you. Thank you for accepting our invitation and for this quaint bit of conversation.
Thank you for the delicious steak. It was really one of the best I've ever had.
Well, I will let the staff know post haste. Thank you. I will take my leave.
Yeah, I say before you go, I think perhaps you were one of the most powerful mages that I've ever had the pleasure to be in the presence of. And for this, I would offer a gift, which I think it has been a long time since anyone has pointed out to you that you are a fool. Pain doesn't make people. It's love that makes people. The pain is inconsequential. It's love that saves them. And you would know that, but you have none around you. You said so yourself. You surround yourself with lies and deceptions, and I wish for you in the future to find someone who will mourn you when you are gone. Respectfully.
Good night. And he vanishes.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Anyway, while that's happening, because you were keeping watch on the far corner, I have you both roll perception with disadvantage with the kind of half vision you have from that corner, since you haven't moved from your position. You don't have a great bead on the central...
Motherfucker!
19?
19?
Yeah, 16.
12, and that's... Thank you for burning a natural 20, so...
Sorry.
Oh. Sorry, you said...
It's a disadvantage.
19 still, that was a natural 20.
Wow, okay. You can see a group of soldiers that are emerging from one of the nearby kind of hedge openings, heading towards this structure.
How far away are they?
You don't see them.
Oh, fuck.
They are about 50 or so feet from the structure. They are being led by a figure who is walking with a very brisk pace. You see these like long red robes with kind of like gold trim. You see longish gray-white hair that is just flowing behind with purpose as he's kind of beelining it there. Trent Ikithon is rushing towards this chamber.
Fucking Astrid.
So we might get our wishes after all. I am going to...
In the room. Yeah.
But
I'm going to back up 5 feet, and I'm going to use my channel divinity, and a marine layer will start to slowly permeate through the woods around myself, Yasha, and Caduceus.
Great.
And I will cast Major Image 120 feet. If we are here at this corner, in the opposite direction and against the wrought iron fence, you will see tearing out from the trees a red dragon comes up and smashes up against the wrought iron fence, fire breathing through, bellowing, and the fence rattling, just spewing forth.
Okay. 20-foot cubes. This is a smaller dragon to fit the wingspan.
Just a red dragon, yeah.
Yeah.
But still tearing out of the woods of wherever the fuck we are right now.
You got it. As it slams into it, you see the group of guards, which now you can see about 4 of them flanking Ikithon, and Ikithon all like look over to the side, and the guys go, shit, shit! They get their weapons and start getting ready. And Ikithon just kind of looks at it.
Yeah, he doesn't give a fuck.
Turns and keeps walking.
Yeah. He's Mensa.
No one can check.
So, you are both inside this chamber.
I'm going to cast Locate Object
Okay.
for the things.
The amulets of protection against... All right, you got it. You cast the spell, and immediately, kind of beneath a cluster of boxes in the corner, you sense numerous. You go over and kind of knock them off to the side, and you see what looks to be a metal case, a long, thin metal case. It is locked. But you can sense within, like, there are numerous.
Unlock it, unlock
the whole case?
I mean, can I lift it?
Yeah, you can lift it.
How big is it?
I mean, it's long and it's metal. It probably weighs like 30 pounds. It's heavy, but not like crazy heavy.
Yeah, would it fit in the haversack?
It would not fit in the haversack.
Okay, then I'm just gonna carry it under my arm. Grab anything else you see within reach, and I'll just shove anything else I see. I'm gonna shove in my bag, and then I'm gonna cast Dimension Door.
I'm gonna grab things as well. Are there anything grabbable by my little dainty fingers?
There's a lot of things here are currently like contained in containers and such. You can make an investigation check if you want to look through.
I will. Give me 12 seconds.
Hurry.
12 seconds.
No, that's too many seconds.
Investigation check.
Okay.
That's 25.
25.
Yeah, I'm just looking for boxes that open or traps. I'm looking for traps.
Okay. You can see that there are no traps, but there are a number of just locked cases different sizes. There's like, a big heavy chest type thing. There is what looks to be like a smaller case that's probably about a foot high and about 2 feet back. The smallest case was the one that you found. Everything else in here seems under like a heavier lock and key.
If she doesn't grab anything in 3 seconds, we're out.
Are any of them liftable by me?
You can make a strength check to grab the next big
I'm
up.
gonna try to open one of them.
Okay, picking a lock real fast is gonna be a high DC. Give it a shot.
Okay. Oh, God. That is good. 28.
28. And it opens up. On the inside, you can see what looks to be a bunch of metallic kind of containers that are filled with crystals. Blue crystals. All about like long, thin, pointed crystals.
Yeah.
Okay, you just start grabbing them.
Yep, as many as I can. Pop them in the sack. Pop it in my pocket.
As you guys are reacting, Trent Ikithon see this, look back, narrows his eyes, and then vanishes from sight.
I'm gonna grab the back
He
of...
vanishes. He doesn't even. He just poof's gone.
It seemed like what may have been an informed disturbance has elevated his need for haste with the appearance of an illusory dragon.
Okay, bamf me out of here.
I'm dimension dooring me and Veth back to Caleb. And hopefully this works. Tell him to get out. Tell him to get out.
Oh, yes, sorry. I cast it to Yasha. Red hot. We're leaving fast. Get out of here. Move, go.
Red hot. I see their signal, and I run and I just jump over the edge.
You don't see their signal.
They just
They're
said he
under a
signaled to me.
marine layer.
Did you cast marine layer?
Mm-hmm. You look over, you just see a large thing of fog in the.
Do I see a red dragon?
You do see a red dragon, and there are guards that are currently like, they're trying to attack it, and they're backing up, and one of them is like screaming and running. Yeah.
I'm still gonna jump off of the tower and nestle near that door that Chester painted.
Okay. You nestle near the door that Chester painted. You got it.
I have not heard from
there's no
anybody
communication.
red
We're doing
hot.
it. Let's go.
I have not heard from anybody.
Can we message her?
Nope.
No.
Beth, I heard you loud and clear. They are waiting for you. Ready for you.
I'm just fixated towards that dragon in the fog cloud, just eyes peeled, waiting for anything.
You got it.
I'm
I said to
going to start moving towards the edge of the fog cloud.
Hopefully they will get... I'm gonna try to do this. I hope it works. And I'm gonna cast Word of Recall as soon as I'm touching Caleb and Beth.
Okay. You cast Word of Recall.
Hi, see you in Nicodranas.
Oh, it doesn't work.
No in or out. With that kind of stuff, maybe.
And as you kind of can't figure out what's happening,
No.
you hear from the top of the stairs.
He counterspelled.
Oh.
Well, if this isn't extremely curious. And we're going to end the episode there.
Oh, no! Oh, my God. Fuck! This is not good.
Oh, no, it's not.
Fuck!
This is so us.
No, we have to keep playing!
No, we're... Depending on what transpires next, it could be very quick or very long. I don't know. So we're going to pick that up next episode.
Oh, God.
Half the party with a huge Archmage. Half your slots gone.
But at least you got those blue crystals.
I got those blue crystals.
We're good now.
So, oh God.
Weirdly, that was what did it.
It was?
My greed?
Yeah.
Oh, that and me summoning a red dragon that he knew was
that too. Yeah. I mean, it kept the guards off.
Good game.
Kept the guards off. Yeah, he wouldn't have gotten there that quickly if he wasn't set off that there was. What was it from his standpoint? A definite diversion.
That's fair. That's fair.
As the three of you, Caleb, Veth, and Jester, look up the barely lit staircase, stepping down comfortably, you see the sallow, jaundiced face of Master Trent Ikithon.
DM?
Yes?
Looking at Veth and Jester, Caleb takes a blur staff and grinds it through phosphorus in his hand and casts wall of fire between them.
Cast a wall of fire between them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Between us and Trent.
Between us and Trent. Damage side facing Trent.
Okay.
There is just enough room for
Is
that.
Trent in the room with us?
He's coming down
He is
the
coming
steps.
down the
Okay.
staircase now.
So it would be sheer against me
And then we're backing up against the. We'd be up against the barrier.
and radiating out damage side toward Trent.
So as he looks to you and says, interesting. Your first reaction is to create this wall of fire.
Yeah.
Well, I guess let's roll initiative, guys. Okay.
Oh no. Oh no.
Just the three of them or everybody?
Just the three of them right now.
Okay.
20.
Thank God.
1.
Okay.
That's not a good start.
So, 25 to 20.
Oh, yikes.
20 to 15.
19.
Ooh.
That's good.
Or 21, sorry.
It's okay. Get it out. Get it out.
15 to 10.
18 over here.
Oh,
18 over
Give
here.
a little arm shake. Give a little arm shake. There you go.
Oh, why I wore a turtleneck. So hot.
And Jester, what'd you get?
Huh?
5. Okay.
Really? Not in it.
So, as the wall of fire
That's a big wall.
immediately fills the chamber.
Oh.
Trent goes first because he rolled pretty damn high on his initiative there. And the wall disappears.
Okay.
Okay.
You got to use your things. They were pretty.
Yeah.
Did we hear him speak?
You couldn't hear it through the of the flames around you, but you assume, as you've seen it happen many times before, that the wall has been dispelled.
Okay.
As he continues to nonchalantly walk down the stairs in your direction, the flames kind of vanishing around him as he comes into the very, very top of the chamber. Well, I am quite curious as to what brings you here.
I don't know if we're still in the order, but I throw firebolt at him.
Oh god.
Okay.
As soon as the spell is, the wall is down. I'm not done.
Okay, so yeah, so that would be his turn, was dispelling and then walking down.
Yeah.
You take your turn.
Yeah.
Go ahead and roll an attack on him.
Yeah. Firebolt.
Maybe we should talk. I think we should maybe talk. He seems like he wants to talk. No?
That is a 17 to hit.
17 is not hit.
Does not hit, okay. Smashes into the wall behind him.
So as the bolt goes flying, you can see like you react out, and as you fling it forward, he kind of almost like puts a hand up for a second, and it seems like it should impact, and then just kind of glides off to the side and hits the stone staircase behind him before dissipating. Are you staying put?
Yes.
We're all there.
I go back into Jester and Veth.
Okay, so 3 of you are clustered there.
My turn.
Now it is Veth's turn.
I will watch Caleb's 2 spells just get totally bungholed by this guy. And I will be like, taste my magic!
Good call out.
And I will cast Phantasmal Force on him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I'm a high-level magic user.
It's true. What's the spell DC?
16 intelligence.
And it's intelligence saving throw?
Yes.
You got it.
Modifier.
No, did he roll
Say
a
it.
1?
Natural 20.
Oh. That was not as good as.
His eyes kind of just shift over to you.
Oh no, my heart is.
A bonus action hide.
Behind
Caleb.
Yep.
Which you can do.
She can as a
Which you can do. Roll a stealth check.
Steal some stuff.
Stealth. Ooh.
That's a lot.
I'm
so happy.
Oh wow, 24.
24. Okay. You feel like you've You might be hidden behind Caleb, perhaps.
They'll never find me here.
But you get the sense he knows where you might loosely be. Jester, what are you doing?
I am going to reach down and grab Veth's shoulder. And reach forward and grab the back of Caleb, and I'm just gonna try to Word of Recall again. My last big spell.
Okay.
He tasted my magic.
I'd look, but I believe you.
Did you? Was that a counterspell?
It was a counterspell.
Counterspell to you. You have to say counterspell so I can counterspell you.
Right, I'm getting to it.
Oh God.
All right. So at what level do you counterspell?
Third.
Third level. Yeah. Go ahead and roll.
Oh no, you rolled a 20. Did you roll a 20 again?
He did.
I rolled a natural 20.
I think we broke Dungeons and Dragons. We broke the game.
Broken?
Oh no, we have to restart the game.
Pull out and blow on it.
What happened?
Better choices.
What happened?
So, natural 20 on. He rolled a natural 20 to counterspell yours. Interesting.
What is the?
Yeah.
It's the protocol.
So,
The counterspell.
order of operations here.
Yeah.
As he steps down, you attempt to cast a spell and it dissipates. He looks over. You begin to make your incantation, grabbing your friends, begin to finish casting the spell as the energy begins to gather around, and this green cloak of the Traveler begins to kind of swoosh around to grab all three of you. And Trent, kind of looking over at you as this is happening, goes, "Oh, this is extremely rude. I'm just asking some questions. This wasn't expected." And as he puts his hand up, you see this blur in the air, the striking spear of unraveling arcana just jutting from his hand that's reaching towards the spell as you react and counter it with your own. And as they both hit, it's like two waves of similar energy hitting and then canceling out nothing. Absence. Everything that he released fails. And as the cloak begins to swirl around to grab both of you, he goes, "Good luck."
You taught me well.
Is the last thing you say before.
Oh shit!
So you're still on the balcony. The warm air hits you. A nice little change from the colder region on the northern side of the Dwendalian Empire. The tension still kind of crisp, and you can see Caleb on the verge of hyperventilating in the midst of that chaos.
Yep. I see Jester rooting in the bag, and I stop her for a second, and Caleb pulls them both into a very fierce hug and says, I'm sorry. Thank you. I'm sorry.
No sorries. I'm sorry that I got a little greedy at the end. That was probably on me. It was my fault. I shouldn't have.
It was dangerous to go in there.
Beth's voice, as she's talking to you, almost seems to echo and fade as a voice fills your mind.
Oh.
Now, Bren, that was uncalled for. Conversation. See, now I'm worried.
Is that the end of it?
That's the end of it.
You can sit and cool off. I don't know if I'm ready to talk to you yet.
Oh, okay. Well, we can go down if you want to be up on the balcony.
Sorry.
I'll just sit here then, I guess.
He was talking to me, like you do. I think. So let's get these on.
As you all kind of step inside, Caleb, a voice of Trent once more finds its way into your mind.
If you wanted anything, all you had to do was ask. This was unnecessary. And now I have to explain this to the rest of the assembly. You don't know what you've done.
I am aware of the strings that are attached. Go off and tell your tales.
Is he talking to you still?
Yeah.
We're gonna get Trent. We'll go back. We'll get him. Just not now.
About this time, a familiar voice creeps back into your mind.
This guy.
Traces of dunamancy left in this wake. I have my theories on where you might have learned this.
Well, now we're both double-dealing.
Why do you run as opposed to talk? If you're worried about the Rogna, well, she's not much of a worry anymore.
In every barrel of apples, there is one with a rotten worm in it. I am that worm.
You guys, he's probably talking to Trent right now.
I was going to say, he's talking to Trent.
Yeah, he's been doing this all afternoon.
Maybe we need to go somewhere safe.
But you are currently following the two of them. As they exit, they make their way through the opal archways. You can see heading kind of in a northwestern direction to a familiar district. Actually, I don't know if you were present for the event, the party that took place.
The party?
Yeah, were you?
Yeah, I was there.
You were there.
Yeah.
I was trying to remember which part members of the group were.
I locked somebody on a balcony.
Yes, you did.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah,
not that,
Paul
not
saw
that.
the fish.
Yes,
That's right.
Not that house, but that same region. There is one building that looks somewhat officious, but also quite elegant. And they both head to that area, and as they step through an alley, you watch as the illusions fade, and it's back to Astrid and Aedwulf. Though their attire is still kind of a similar presentation as to what you saw in the Lava Chateau. As they begin to approach the exterior of this, you see the door open, and it looks like another individual, though wearing a similar attire, but having the same Volstrucker tattoos across their arms. It looks to be an older woman. Looks to be half-elf, possibly in her late 40s or so. And to the right of her, a familiar red-robed Trent Ikithon.
Oh, shit.
All of our suspicious, neurotic beliefs were real.
And we're like 3 blocks away?
3 blocks away.
Oh.
Or, yeah, about a...
Paranoid if they're really looking for you.
We're not paranoid.
What was it?
Trent is
Trent and
3
I
blocks
were in
away.
that
Here!
house or something 3 blocks from the chateau.
So wait, who's the other woman? Also older member?
You've never seen this woman.
Never seen this woman.
Another Volstrucker, female elf.
And you see as they come bolting out of the structure, you can see some other members of Concordian Guard kind of following behind, hurriedly looking confused. As he kind of just rushes by and heads towards the edge of the gate, raises his hand, the gate's open, and you see the two of them approach and kind of give a bow, and they begin having a conversation rather rapidly.
Okay, I will...
You're still in the alley, like they just left the alley to head in towards the kind of front courtyard, fenced-off area at the front of this larger officious structure.
Okay. I'll go back a block, getting away from them.
Okay.
And as soon as I'll just run back. I'll just run back as fast as I can.
Caleb, as Ford's saying this, the words seem to kind of begin to blur a bit as another voice begins to peek into your head.
Oh, this bitch.
Bren, I was once as stubborn as you. I know you are not beyond reason. I know very well the ore you were forged from, and what we've made you into. And you are very slippery and quite accomplished in your ability to avoid conversation. But simple tricks only last so long. It's the end. You have the opportunity to respond.
Well, don't worry. My friends and I will come knocking on your door soon.
Curious choice of words. Do not throw away the destiny others have sacrificed to forge for you. Grand potential wasted is a tragedy innumerable. I ask you once more, will you parley with me?
Where and when?
Now. Outside.
We may have a visitor?
I just got my family.
You did! You did! I quickly peek out the window.
Great.
Noticing a distressed Caleb.
Okay.
And
You
him.
go and look. The windows are closed, it seems, or you go to inspect. And the window should be open, but there is solid stone in the way of the door, of the window.
Stone?
I get so close.
Motherfucker has blocked us in.
Wait, Solid stone.
Solid stone?
We're trapped.
Wait, what?
He fucking matrixed us.
Yeah, he did. He
They
did
changed the
exactly
code.
that.
They
He
changed
did
the
exact.
code.
They changed the code.
Caduceus, you board up your windows with stone?
No.
Well, he's locked us in. It's a trap. For sure.
Thank God for Yasha.
Well, you know, I gotta tell it like it is.
The voice
You all
comes
know what's
through
happening.
once more into your mind, Caleb. Time is of the essence. It would be a shame for history to repeat itself. And it's at that moment you begin to smell smoke.
Oh, Jesus.
You motherfucker.
So the windows are shut, but the door
The door is closed.
Do we all smell smoke?
You all begin to
We're
smell smoke.
gonna get burned alive. We should leave.
I tried the door.
The door opens.
Yeah. And is he waiting outside?
There is stone.
That's what I'm
blocking the exit. So as the door pulls open,
This bastard. What? Ask him why he's so obsessed with
Ask him. We're burning alive in here. There's no asking. We gotta get out of here.
at this point you can see the flames are now beginning to cut through some of the thatch.
I'm gonna cast Stone Shape on the stone door
The stone door.
Like we
All right.
and try to open up a opening.
Okay.
Easy enough to do. The doorway shifts open and there is
I
a
do.
space that leads outside. You can see at this point the clays are like starting to panic and look around and grab things, and Constance like, Caduceus, what's happening?
Keep his attention.
Bad person. Long story. Keep everybody
I
safe.
opened the door. I opened the doorway.
Go outside.
can see through it.
Yeah.
Can
Everybody out.
someone open a back way? Is there a chimney in this situation?
Yeah, it's right there, and you can see it in the kind of the beyond the current room, kind of straddling with this area in the kitchen area. There's a stone chimney.
I look up the flue.
It's open.
Keep him distracted. I go up the flue.
Through the hole that she's made through the doorway. How far can we see?
You can see all across the grove. It's now like pre-noon, almost midday, and it is light, and you can see there's the little pond over kind of to the right. There's a few small trees. You can see the grass.
Hundreds of yards?
I'd say probably 100 yards or so before it starts
in
getting
case you
thick brush.
Don't want to go up the chimney, and I'll summon the arcane gate right next to us and put the other one 450 yards straight ahead.
Get the family out that
450 yards. You don't have visual on that, unfortunately. The brush closes over there.
Feet. Sorry, yeah. Well, whatever I can see.
I meant 100 feet. Sorry, not 100 yards. Yards got me
about
confused.
that,
So a little over 100 feet, like 120 or so feet.
Then I'll take it 120 feet.
Okay.
I'm gonna
On the other side.
I'm gonna let the family go first and see if anyone notices the family going out the gate.
Okay. The family.
The clays, you mean?
Mm-hmm.
You're sending the clays out the gate, the first one's out?
Okay.
I'll go before them.
No, I will go before you.
Okay.
Well, wait, aren't you going out?
Well, I thought you were going out the front door
Oh,
where
you guys
he
went
is.
that way.
Yeah. There's a
I'm
front
going
entrance.
front door to meet to initiate. Sorry, discussion. Sorry, I was looking at spells.
No worries. All right. So you're heading out the front gate. You guys are pushing the family through the, like we're talking Yeza, Luke, and the clays through the
You
gate.
went up a chimney.
I'm
You're-
I'm about to decide that based on if they notice the family go out the gate.
Okay.
I'm gonna pop Death Ward on you just to have it.
I'll go out the gate with my family.
Okay.
Is Calliope gonna hang around, or is Calliope gonna keep the family safe?
Calliope's currently working to protect the family. Yeah.
Okay.
It's like, Caduceus, what do you need?
Oh, keep them safe. Where's Tea Leaf?
I don't know.
Okay. That's fine.
Oops.
We'll figure that out.
I need you to keep his attention forward and on Caleb. Okay. All right. Okay.
And sorry, DM, in all this fracas, Essek is in the living quarters with us?
Yes.
For all this?
And Essek doesn't really know what's happening now. He just knows the fire. He's like, is this what I...
Yeah, so on the way out, I'll say, be ready. We eliminate one problem today. And I head out.
He swallows very heavily and... All right. So as you head out, Essek's going to kind of come from behind at that point to follow shortly thereafter. The family's going to push through the arcane gate and emerge facing away into the brush. Okay.
I grab Jester really quick before she goes, and I go, I could really use a good blessing of the trickster right now.
You got it.
Thanks, cutie.
As she taps the side of your face, for a second you see a flash of a green cloak over her arm, and just over her shoulder you see our tag and kind of peek behind and go, we both go.
Not you, don't touch. Not
Too bad.
you.
Too bad.
Too bad.
All right, and you are...
Do I see the family get out safe from, like, my visual?
Make a perception check.
Yeah. 19.
19? You see them begin to emerge and head into the brush, and you can see across the way that Calliope is in the process of kind of getting them onto the far end of the blooming grove.
Does Ikithon notice, or is
You don't
he...
see Ikithon.
I don't see it.
There's no... You from inside the building, there is no visual on Trent Ikithon.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna hang tight for a hot second. I'm just gonna listen to Caleb.
Okay.
Do I see Ikithon?
As you step out, the land that the house is built upon, it slowly kind of curves downward into this little courtyard area. There's a few small trees around it, and there's the pond over to the front right, and the tree line across the way. The fences are beyond that, and there's a familiar clustering of the shaded Savalier wood around that. But there, about 30 feet in the air, in the center of it all, looking down at you, just kind of standing in the middle of the sky, is Trent Ikithon. Calm. You see him in his long red robes with gold trim. You know these to be more of his casual, getting business done attire. His familiar hands filled with rings, his boots themselves having tiny little black wings on them, kind of on their own. Hang around his neck, what is new to you, what looks to be some sort of a chained medallion. In the middle of it, a blackened, polished, almost egg-like sphere that, as the light hits it, sparkles with an odd purplish hue. As you emerge, I see that you are a man interested in actually facing your fate today.
Well, we had issues larger than your ambitions. Those being taken care of, we can finally deal with you. Why don't we stop dancing around those ambitions? What is it you want, teacher?
I thought for maybe a while here it was just a bit of discipline that was missing from your life. It is rare that a master such as myself admits failure. But at this point, I'm willing to admit that I've failed recently. But I think it's best that we erase these failures, so I don't have to look at it. And neither does anybody else.
I think I can accommodate you today.
He reaches up and kind of taps the egg. It shatters. There's a burst of black, purple, gray energy. And then for an instant, you see a flash of a shape, something that resembles, in but an instant, dodecahedron adjacent. And you recognize this is condensed, manufactured dunamis energy. And for an instant, you sense it expand out from him into everything around. And to your keen, arcane eye, time almost seems to come to a complete standstill as he casts Time Stop.
Time Stop.
Within an instant, suddenly, when it was a blink of an eye, he still stays there floating. But now there is a strange shimmer to him. You can see above his head 7 of these burning small star-like points swirl around him. And you can see this odd, burning, shield-like exterior that encircles him. Caleb, you're up.
I step on his chest, kneel down, bend over and activate it.
Come on.
Roll an Arcana check for me.
Come on, Caleb.
Oh, I wish I was there.
Low roll. 15.
You have a moat.
Don't?
Yeah.
Don't?
With all this planning and preparation for the device, in this moment, there's something about it that's not activating. Your confidence begins to falter in your face as you begin to fumble with the device, and you see that look of fear in Trent's face begin to shift. That finish your turn, Caleb?
I will also say, Beth, if you have any more of that glue, get his hands.
All right, that finish your turn?
I will stay with my foot pressed on his chest.
Okay.
So we're all holding actions as soon as he tries to do anything, right?
Yeah.
There are a
More
few
or
of
less?
us.
Yeah.
As you have your hands on the device, a second set of hands comes and pushes yours aside. As Astrid begins to bend down. Natural 16 plus 8.
Ooh.
The side that you're holding, she glances over and finds one trigger that had come loose. She presses it back into place, squeezes your hand, and at once you hit both sides. The red gem that you had embedded as the power source flickers on with a buzz.
Watch your fingers.
And Trent suddenly goes like,
You were always better at solving problems than I was.
and we're gonna take a break. With the device activated, the collar triggered and permanently adhered to the neck of Trent Ikithon. He lies there on the ground, arms and legs slightly bent, breathing.
Beth, squirt a little more on his palms.
I'm happy to. Although, Jester,
the sovereign glue on it.
You're a better painter than I am. Could you do the honor? Maybe little dicks?
Oh, that's lovely.
And then smush them together?
I'm gonna hold his hand and look at him in the eye while I draw like a really just not good dick straight in the palm of his hand with little spurts on each finger.
He can't speak, but his eyes roll heavily in it.
Yasha, I need you to hold his wrists together until it sets.
Oh, it sets instantly.
It sets in 60 seconds.
Or yeah, sorry. Yeah. My bad.
I'll grab them and hold them together.
Okay.
Just look them in the eyes.
And while we wait, we get down close. You know, for the longest time, I thought this would be impossible. But I still dreamed about it. Of taking your life. But death is too good for you. You are to be exposed, humbled, and brought low. Settle into that idea.
You feel his voice peer into your mind, which is not an unfamiliar thing for you, whether it be through a sending spell or what you would probably be aware of from your time training with him.
Mm-hmm.
But one of his objects allows him short-range telepathy.
Mm-hmm.
So wordlessly looks into your eyes and says, "See, you aren't a failure. Now, finish the job and fulfill your destiny."
Am I able to, if I know about that item on him from our past, can I dispel that?
You can. It's a ring on his right hand.
I do so.
Okay.
Third level.
Just dispel.
Still whispering in my ear like an adder. I'm tired of the narrative.
As this is happening, Trent is still just sitting on the ground, hands
Still
bound.
have my blade in his chest, just standing there.
He's just smiling.
Oh.
Like a weird, sick calm on his face now.
Hey. You lost. Oh, what's that? Hmm? Oh, I can't hear you. How sad for you.
I resist the urge to make out with Yasha and look at Caleb. I'm sorry for the road we're about to walk down. I hope you know there will be a certain point where if Astrid and Eodwulf are not with us, then I don't know how much protection we can offer them.
I know. And if we peel all the layers away from this onion, I may end up on the chopping block as well. But it's still what we are going to do.
I don't want that to happen.
Either way.
Once we start pulling on this thread, you know what that means, right?
I'm with you, Beauregard.
Just pull out one of the blank journals that Caleb grabbed me from Aor.
Let me know when you're ready.
Day or two. Let's get him back to your halls.
You know, we'll start with Ikithon. Lewdness terrifies me.
This was the appetizer.
Is the Cobalt Soul is going to hold Trent Ikithon?
I don't know.
sort of making this up as I go along.
I'm just gonna put earmuffs over Trent's ears.
Just don't want to know everything.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea.
I just lean on the sword.
Oh, ow, that would hurt really bad.
Yeah, I think it would just a little bit.
How long? Sovereign glue is like.
Forever.
Uh-huh.
We go straight to the top. We go to Udala. We don't fuck around with anybody else. And we have to keep the fact that we are breaking this story secret. If anyone catches word, there's going to be a lot of people who want to keep their interests safe.
Well, you will have my story, and I have some hope, given a little bit of time, that the other two will come around.
I hope so too.
Mighty Nine. You are truly amazing. Thank you. And he just sits on the ground and deflates.
Just 1 second, I'm curious. Mind if I talk to your friend?
If he is able to respond. Seems a little tight-lipped at the moment.
Do spells still work?
Dispel?
Do spells still work?
Spells. On
Do
him?
honest?
Yeah.
Sure.
I'm gonna cast Bane.
Okay.
Does it work?
Yeah.
He
is Bane.
Oh, are we treating him like a test of me? Is that what we're doing?
No.
Sure.
Got some new spells.
Some shit in there I've never ever done.
I have decided to take this thing that you have done to me and my family as a opportunity to teach a lesson. I don't know if you can truly understand what I'm feeling right now. If you have the imagination for how much hurt this is. But I would like you to empathize with me, and I cast command. Empathize.
One word.
Wow.
Feel it all.
He just smiles back at
Empathize. Command again.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Never seen Caduceus this pissed.
Empathize.
Just keeps grinning back at you.
Empathize.
How many spell slots do you have left?
Let's see. That's a good question.
Day 13.
That's 4 first level spells, at least.
Yep.
Yeah.
1, 2,
Succeeds in that one,
3,
too.
4. Empathize.
Yeah, he succeeds.
Empathize.
Succeeds. Natural 20.
I'll keep
I put
going.
my hand on Caduceus' shoulder, and at 5th level, I cast command and say, empathize.
So what's the 5th level one do now?
It's 5th level, the save's 18 with
Oh.
Yeah. Is this again another one?
just a higher level.
Just yeah. Natural 20 saves again.
He is a sick fuck.
Empathize.
Saves.
Empathize.
Huh?
Empathize.
No, he succeeds.
You gotta respect it. That's pretty good.
He's a dick.
Yeah, he's a piece of shit.
He's a
He
piece of
succeeds.
shit. Wow.
He's like he's got a high
Energize.
Wow.
While this is going on, I'm
Master
going
thighs.
to go into the woods and find my family.
Succeeds. How many more spell slots do you have?
This is the last one.
Yeah, he succeeds. Just keeps grinning the whole time.
Caleb comes over and puts them. Oh no, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Caleb watches Caduceus focusing and focusing and focusing, and I'm looking at his smug fucking face, and I come and I put the manacles of stasis on his wrists and use it at 5th level to see if I can put this fucker to sleep for 24 hours.
Okay, so what's the save he has to make, or?
It's not. It's you roll 5d8.
Way back.
I have to go over his current hit points. There's
Gotcha.
no save.
You don't know what his current hit points are, so go for it.
Okay, so I'm casting at 5th level, so there's gonna be a bunch of dice. Hold on.
You want Yasha to do a few more little pokey pokes before?
So that's
Just here. Just a
okay.
little. Just hanging out.
Somebody remember 35 for me.
That's pretty great.
And then 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay, 8, 16, 24, 33, 39, 41, 43, 43, and
Plus
35, 78.
78.
78?
Yeah.
Du hast.
mich. That'll do it.
As he slowly falls asleep, I just want him to hear, oh, don't worry. Well, we can try again tomorrow.
Amazing.
That's baller. I love it.
Whoa.
I love it.
Don't burn Caduceus out.
Shit.
Where is Trent through all of this?
Oh, we've been feeding him quinoa and mushy
Yeah, like
peas.
just spoon feeding him to keep him alive. Yeah.
Trent duty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we give him his
Oh,
manacles
And treating him real
baba
nice.
every night.
He for the most part maintains his shitty grin and steely disposition, except around feeding time. He gets a little bitchy around feeding time.
Oh, it's
Here
lentils
you go.
I'm gonna just give it a try. I'm gonna walk up while he's eating, while he's got a mouthful of mushy peas.
Oh yeah, I've been hitting him for like randomly hitting him for days for fun, and that Bane, yeah.
It's odd. Even when you feel the spell cuts through, you can command somebody to take the action of empathizing, which means the attempt is there.
Yeah.
But you require the capability to empathize to even be magically compelled to do so.
Wow.
Ooh.
Shitbird.
Yeah.
Here comes the dragon attack.
Okay. As you begin to gather your things in the ensuing day, eventually you make your way to arriving at Rexentrum, carrying Master Trent Ikithon, one of the top members of the Cerberus Assembly, in shackles and dick drawings.
He can't see the dick drawings. They're hidden.
He
between
knows.
Oh, just he
his
knows?
hands. He just
That's all he.
there.
It's just his little secret.
It's a little spurt.
It's his.
Sitting on a secret.
It's his to jazzle.
Yeah.
All right. And you bring him and your information to. Oh,
Honey, I'm home.
the Rexentrum Archive.
Yeah.
All right. Quickly enough, the various archivists assemble and call forth the High Curator, that's what it is, Udalaphon. As they go ahead and meet you in the familiar chamber where you've had previous conversations. Right. Welcome. Expositor Beauregard. You requested my presence.
I've learned magic on my trip. Do you want to see?
Of course.
And I just opened the basket that we got from Caduceus that we put Trent in. Abracadabra! Ta-da!
Jazz hands.
Jazz hands.
What have you done?
Let's talk.
And you do. And you inform Udalaphon
extensively of the corruption that you've uncovered, both within the Cerberus Assembly and within your experiences specifically with Trent Ikithon, detailing your story, and along with it, the written tales of Astrid and Adolf. Yudolafon spends the majority of this time stunned. And then the stunned turns into tension, which then turns into focus. And you can see the look of an individual who is very, very keen on rooting out such terrible people. The initial shock and surprise of Trent Ikithon's reveal turns into an extremely cold connection as Yudolafon looks to Trent. Master Ikithon, I, the High Curator, find you in severe contempt of Imperial law. While I cannot judge you independently, the full weight of the library of the Cobalt Soul will stand to see you tried for all the terrible things you have wrought. Your tale will be marred and burned, and the rest of your days will be spent in a hole. I can guarantee it. Their intensity fades back to the controlled motions. Barakan, you've done well.
Where's all of us?
Indeed. But would you all also say that this mind before you, this expositor, was responsible for putting these threads together?
Yeah, it was all her.
I don't think it could have happened without her.
Yeah.
Scribbles.
She's kind of a genius.
So we are learning. And thank you.
Connecting the dots ever since we met her.
And thank you. Do you prefer Bren or Caleb?
What you will.
Thank you, Caleb, for lending your experience to what will be a very damning account.
If the cycle can be broken, then it will have been worth it.
With luck, this is just the beginning.
And with a little bit of misfortune, I think it is. I'm ready for it, though.
And there's much work to be done, Expositor. It'll be hard. It'll be dangerous. It will be grueling and disappointing at times. But if you prevail, if we prevail, then perhaps we can give hope to those who cannot protect themselves from such tyranny.
I'm ready.
Very well. In the following days, clandestine meetings are beginning to be held within the Library of the Cobalt Soul. with other expositors and archivists trusted beneath Idalathon, to begin the slow process, the careful process of developing a new crew of investigators, specifically to eventually undermine and dismantle the Cerberus Assembly.
If we need any subcontractors, I know a good detective agency.
Very good. Perhaps we will be in touch in the future.
I think with time, Caleb would also push. This is probably already wrapped up in what you said, but for the dismantling of the Volstrucker and the hopes of advising and establishing something new, something better. Wardens instead of judge, jury, and executioner.
That might be something you need to take up with the Martinet.
That's a bit of a sticky wicket.
Well, he's going to be made aware of this very soon. Would you prefer us to be the ones to break the news?
Come with me.
Very well.
Udala, can you offer us protection in this time? Specifically, those members who are not here, who might suddenly have a target painted on their backs.
Anyone who is
unknown.
Anyone within this account, specifically?
Yes.
I'll ask around. It should be able to be done.
Thank you.
And with that, the task force has begun. Trent Ikithon is then presented by the full force of the Library of the Cobalt Soul before the Crown and King Dwendal. He is shown for all the terrible things that he has done. No word publicly comes of what his punishment was, but privately, you know that he sits in the deepest of darkest dungeon in Rexentrim, unable to talk or move his hands, force-fed and left to think and think and think.